an important form of human expressions that reflects experiences, thoughts, emotions, and values within society, while literary criticism provides tools and diverse approaches to analyze, interpret, and evaluate works, enriching understanding and fostering cultural and educational development. Alright, let's move to the definitions of literary criticism. Literature is a social institution using language and artistic and imaginative creations with aesthetic value, while criticism is the act or art of judging the merits and faults of a person's idea or work. So, literary criticism is the discipline that analyzes, interprets, and evaluates works of literature. It seeks to answer questions about what literature means, how it functions, and why it matters. There are 17 branches of critical approaches of literature. The first one is formalist criticism. So, formalist criticism views literature as an independent form of knowledge. So, it's not focused on social, historical, or biographical aspects. Besides, it emphasizes close reading, which means reading the text carefully. It focuses on intrinsic elements like words, structure, and form. The second is biographical criticism. So it opposes with formalists because it focuses on the author's life. Biographical criticism believes an author's experiences shape their works. So knowing the writer's biography changes how we respond. The third one is historical criticism. So, it means understanding literature through its social, cultural, and intellectual context. So, it includes the author's background and historical milieu. The fourth one is post-colonial criticism. So, it focuses on issues of colonizations like racial difference, inequality, and subalternity. So, it analyzes works from formerly colonized nations. Also, examines literature from colonizers that reflects colonial ideologies. And the fifth is gender criticism. So, it examines how sexual identity shapes literary works and their perceptions. It originated from the feminist movement and aims to correct imbalance and challenge patriarchal attitude. It highlights female traditions and recover marginalized voices, and reveals stereotypes, biases, and cultural ideas of gender in text.
Feminist criticism investigates how literature reflects and reinforces patriarchal values. It emphasizes the marginalization of women, stereotypical portrayals, and exclusion of female voice from literary history. This approach also seeks to recover undervalued female authors and promote inclusive interpretation. Psychological criticism. This branch draws from Breed psychoanalytic theory to explore unconscious desires, repression, and wish fulfillment in literature. It analyzes the author's psyche, the creative process, and the fictional character as a psychological projection. Sociological criticism. Sociological criticism views a literature as a product of in its social, political, and economic context. It examines how texts reflect societal values, class structure, and ideological tensions. Mythological criticism. This approach combines anthropology, psychology, and religion to uncover universal symbols and archetypes in literature. It connects individual imagination with a timeless myth shared across cultures. Reader response criticism. Reader response criticism emphasizes the reader's role in constructing meaning. It argues that interpretation is shaped by personal experience and that no single reading is definitive. Structuralist criticism. Structuralist criticism focuses on the system and codes that shape a meaning in literature. It treats text as a part of larger network of signs, where meaning arises from relationship, not isolated elements.
Post-structural criticism. Post-structural criticism is a type of critique that believes various versions of meaning can emerge from one word. This challenges the structural criticism that believe in one singular version of meaning in each word. Do you know the example of this is how good and bad are interdependent in the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Deconstructionist criticism. Deconstructionist criticism is a type of criticism that believes language is an unstable media to convey a fixed meaning. This type of criticism focuses on the whole and whole of the literary work. They critique. For example of this criticism is the analyzation of Declaration of Independence by USA. You can see the inherent contradiction in it if you use the deconstruction method. Marxist critics believe literary reflect the sociological and ideological function of which it emerged from. For example, if you're analyzing The Great Gatsby, you can see how the work represents the capitalistic values. New criticism. New criticism is a type of belief that's solely focusing on the work itself. For example, if you're analyzing Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, will only focus on the textual element and ignoring the author's life or historical context or even the reader's feeling. In conclusion, literary criticism is a way to understanding the deeper meaning of a literary work. There are a lot of branches of literary criticism, and each branch has its own rules, guide, and function.